Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crushing with Your Tribe. I'm excited to have Dr. Kella Price on the show again. This time, we're going to talk about specifically the American Businesswomen's Association, but also in general, business organizations for women and what that looks like for leadership and employment and just in the way the world is working today. So stay tuned for Dr. Kella Price.
As a Texas realtor, Robin McCoy is in the unique position to meet and know so many different people in a wide range of industries. These people are her tribe, and she leverages them not only to help her business, but to help theirs as well. Welcome to Crushing It with Your Tribe, where we share real talk about building business and life relationships. Here is your host, Robin McCoy.
Hey everybody, Robin McCoy, Texas Realtor with Keller Williams, and welcome to another episode of Crushing It with Your Tribe. And I'm so excited because we've got a returning guest. Dr. Kella Price is with us once again. Hey, Kella.
Hi, happy to be here and chat with you today, Robin. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. So just a little background on Kella. She has more than 20 years of experience in training and an MS in exercise science and wellness. She has published on various topics, including stress and mental wellness. She's a gym owner of Healthy Fit with several locations and an online program. She's writing a book. She's been honored in dozens of different things. And all of that will be in the show notes. But today we're going to talk about something very, very specific. And that is, we are both members. If you've listened to the show, you know that I've been a very proud member of the American Businesswomen's Association, also known as ABWA, for quite some time. And Kella has been a very long-term member and is currently the District 2 Vice President for ABWA. So I wanted to have her on so that we could talk about not only ABWA, but organizations like this and what not only they've done with her or for her, but what they can do for everyone. So here we are. So Kella, tell us how long you've been in the American Businesswomen's Association.
Almost 23 years. I joined in 2001, and I joined because of the scholarship opportunities. I was currently at that time pursuing my doctorate's degree, and advanced degrees are really expensive, and my employer didn't have a stellar tuition reimbursement plan. So I was paying a lot out of pocket and accumulating loans, school loan debt, which I didn't want to do. And so I was looking for scholarships, and I got to my computer and typed in one day scholarships near me or scholarship opportunities for women. I don't recall exactly what I searched, but ABWA was one of the first things that popped up. Did some research on the internet, connected with a local group, and I joined on my first meeting. And although I didn't get a scholarship that year, I did get scholarship and grant money through the outright grant program later with ABWA. And I stayed with the organization for reasons different because I haven't been in school for some time now. However, there are so many other benefits of being a member of the association.
So that's 23 years ago. And so you were in school looking for something completely different, but you went to a meeting, and even though you didn't get a scholarship, you stayed. What was it about that engaged you so immediately into that organization or into that group?
I think the prospect of having women in your corner that would support you. I was working in retail management, and although the lower levels of retail are typically women, as you get up into the management ranks, it's predominantly male running the show. And so I was in a male dominated industry. I didn't have a lot of counterparts that I could go to for support. And as a military spouse, my husband's job was moving us every 3 years or so. And so I was basically starting over with new friend groups, figuring out the community. And ABWA was a great place to start that journey in the new city. A lot of times before we even moved, I was able to connect with an ABWA league in that area, contact their members, ask questions about the community, even important things like, where should I live? What schools are good? What types of
Yeah.
things are doing here? And these are important things to connect you with a community. Who do I need to know? What types of things should I get involved in? And I always had ABWA members there to support me. When I moved to North Carolina, I had maybe one box of things that I carried in my car to cook with and things. We were in a temporary living situation. I was subletting a completely empty apartment, living on an air mattress for a couple months. And the first week I was there, the ABWA president reached out to me, invited me to her home for dinner with some of the members. And so I was able to plug in, and that was so meaningful. Not only to get a meal that wasn't pretty much a ready-made meal or fast
Out
food,
of a can
but
or,
also,
you know.
yeah, but to be able to connect with individuals that I had never met before and have that instant community. When we moved to Yuma, the same thing. I looked up a league, and when my husband and I went out there house hunting, we had lunch with members, got to know the community. They gave us some great advice for our house hunting search. I have so many stories of meaningful things that have happened. When I also was in District 6, which is out in the Arizona, California area, and I had planned to attend an event in South California. And the week of the event, I had a role in this particular event, so I couldn't cancel, but I found out that I was getting 3 foster kids that week. And so I was
3?
scrambling to get my house. Yes, 3 foster kids. I had a couple days notice,
Wow.
and I realized very quickly that my car wouldn't even hold all the car seats that I needed to have because I had a smaller vehicle. So I was online and I found a car actually in Southern California, and my ABWA sister says, "Don't worry, we'll make this work." We got the kids and the 2 younger babies that were 8 months and 2 years, went to California with us. One of my ABWA sisters was in the car with me helping situate the kids. We went to Southern California to the car dealership to pick up this car. One of my ABWA sisters met us there, and we traded out the cars because now I had 2 cars in California, and she was gonna drive my other car back. And the entire week, sisters in Southern California arranged for her daughter to babysit at the hotel so that I
Wow.
could attend the meeting. So they literally coordinated and helped support me on this crazy journey to make it work. And it worked. It was a
Well,
great
and that's
weekend and everything turned out.
and that's part of it too, right? Is when I joined in 2014, I was really looking for business contacts. I was looking as a realtor, I'm just looking to meet more people. And I engaged right away too. I didn't join the first meeting, but I think it was the second one, and I started volunteering for things. I think sometimes you find the girlfriends you never knew you were missing because you're caught up in your life and your work and your own kids or your own family, forgetting that you need friends too, right?
That's
And to
so
be able to
true. And
call ahead and to be able to call ahead and say, I'm moving to North Carolina and I don't know anybody and I'm an ABWA member here. It makes it a little bit easier.
it absolutely does. It absolutely does. And when I talk to ABWA members, when I'm traveling around the district with 5 states and about 30 leagues, I hear it over and over again that women stay with the association because of the friendships and the sisterhood is one of the benefits, which is not necessarily part of our mission statement and the things that we
Yeah.
focus on, but it's a byproduct and
Yes.
truly a value. Since COVID, and for me, specifically as a business entrepreneur, I work from home. I don't have a lot of contact with people. So, having an association and a place to go and meet up and connect with people is really important. As a mental health advocate, I'll tell you that having those personal interactions is really good for one's mental health and well-being. It can really help give you a mood booster. I'm always in a good mood when I leave an ABWA
Yeah.
event.
Even if you're tired, you just leave with a smile on your face, right? And sometimes it's
Mhm.
hard to get there. I'm not going to lie. You've worked all day. You've had, whatever that is, what your day looks like. And whenever it starts, you're like, oh, I've got to go to that meeting. And you walk in, and not only are you greeted immediately and you get hugs and people are happy to see you, but you sit down and you learn something, whether it's from the speaker or the presentation or the program or the person sitting next to you by their experiences. You're always learning something, and you leave with a smile on your face, feeling a whole lot better than you did when you walked through the door.
The learning opportunities are definitely great. I am a true believer in constantly learning and leveling it up and improving yourself. And ABWA does offer a number of opportunities to do so through the monthly programs you mentioned, the connections through the networking that we do at our monthly events, through our online library of courses. We have some amazing courses. I'm doing a innovators toolbox course right now on there. So some self-paced online learning. Our newsletter has great articles in it that are learning short nuggets of information. So there's so many different ways to constantly improve your skill set and even learning through the leadership opportunities. That's one way that I feel like I've grown and benefited in the last 6 months as the District 2 vice president. Being able to support and mentor other women has helped me grow and develop my skills as a leader, giving them the support that they need, and me having that opportunity to serve on the national board of directors. And that's not an exclusive leadership skill opportunity. I mean, we have levels at the local level, but being able to serve on the national board is open to all of the members. So
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity to grow and build and stretch yourself in ways that you didn't even think or imagine.
Well, and I think sometimes, and especially as society moves through phases as it is right now, I think sometimes maybe younger women, or even not even necessarily younger, maybe even somewhere between the younger and the older, we think we don't need organizations like this. Anything, I can get it online, or I can get the information here and I can get the information there. What do you think being involved, and I don't mean just going to a meeting, but I mean digging in and volunteering for positions within the league, representing on the national board? Why do you think these things are still very relevant, especially to even younger or maybe even older members?
Be the leader you know you can be. Build your professional network and access education that takes you where you want to go. We are women of all ages and backgrounds. You deserve national recognition and opportunities to build relationships with people you want to work and grow with. Hit the ground running with the Charisma chapter of the American Business Women's Association. Meetings each month from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday in Farmers Branch, Texas, and online. Come with us. Experience ABWA for yourself. Go to charisma.abwa.org to learn more.
Why do you think these things are still very relevant, especially to even younger or maybe even older members?
As someone who loves to serve and volunteer and work on projects and giving back, I think part of the reason that it's so beneficial in terms of our own mental health and well-being is because it makes you feel good to serve. It makes you feel good when you give back and you see a positive impact that you're making a difference. And everybody needs that particular element. There are so many opportunities with the association and lots of professional associations for that matter. I think women in particular, we focus, and you mentioned this earlier, we focus on our family, we focus on our
Mhm.
kids, we focus on work. And when my kids were younger, a lot of the women that I hung out with were because of we had similar age kids. And so our kids would get together
Mhm.
for a play date and we would hang out while the kids were playing. And that was like friend group. But
Yes.
as your kids grow up and you don't necessarily need to supervise play dates. I have high schoolers now. I don't supervise when they hang out with their friends in the same room, and you lose some of those superficial connections of
Right.
people that you come in contact with and you're connected with at a very low level. And this
Right.
being a part of an association and working with women, you really establish those relationships that you may be missing in other areas of your life. And it's an important part of your total health and wellness. Again, as a health and
Yeah.
fitness coach, having a social group and having something that is important to you is part of managing your total health and wellness. So I think it offers you a lot of opportunities to do that within the leagues for sure.
Well, and I also think about as you're going through a career or even, I mean, you can be very well established. Things happen in the workplace that maybe it's not you don't want to go address it to your superior or a coworker. You want to talk it out with somebody else. And often maybe your spouse or sisters or whatever don't aren't the right people either. And I have found that I can call one of my ABWA members in my chapter or in my group or nationally and say, all right, this is going on. Am I seeing this right? Am I and I think sometimes if we don't have these groups, we don't know that we can do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, what you're describing, I would almost call an informal mentoring of sorts. And
Mhm.
sometimes we have more formal mentors established, but certainly having that sounding board of individuals to support you and ask questions and encourage you. I'm mentoring several women right now in different industries than me, but helping them through some of the challenges that they're having in their workplace. As an HR professional, that's one of my backgrounds. So I'm able to kind of give them the perspective of human resources when they're having difficulties in the workplace and ask questions and have them consider different things and encourage them and kind of guide or lead them in the right direction. And that's a very for me, it's a very rewarding part of getting to know people one-on-one is being able to provide them that career support.
Well, and it's like giving them an idea of a different way of looking at things because you're not in the middle of whatever it is they're going through, right? You're that other, you're looking at it from a different
Neutral.
perspective. Neutral. That's
Yes.
the word I'm looking for. Now, you also talked about leadership, and I think sometimes leadership is a term that is, I think sometimes it's misconstrued. That if you want to be a better leader, that means you want to go run the company or you want to go run this. And while that may be what the path you choose to take, that is not the only thing that leadership is. So, what would you say um, that ABWA or similar organizations bring to the leadership part of a woman's journey or growth?
So, as you mentioned, one of the aspects of leadership is holding a role, a specific leadership role. But there are many people that are behind the scenes leaders who are helping coordinate efforts or secure volunteers to execute a particular event, who are sharing information with members that helps them grow. So they are leading, but they're not necessarily in the spotlight. They're leading
Right.
from behind the scenes to make things happen. And that's equally an important part of working within an organization and an association like ABWA. We need those people who are working behind the scenes to encourage and help develop and grow people and give them the support that they need. You don't necessarily have to have a title to be a leader.
I think that's important too, right? You don't need to have a title to be a leader. It is not what you're called, it's how you behave, I think.
And inspiring people. Leaders
Mhm.
inspire people to take action. It's not necessarily a task related journey. It's not getting specific tasks accomplished. It's inspiring people to take action and do things on their own behalf.
Well, and now you have just been recognized as a candidate for the national which role? Approved candidate
I am an
for
approved candidate for national vice president. So,
vice
at
president. Okay.
the National Women's Leadership Conference in October, it's an annual event that we have. The attending members will have the opportunity to hear from all of the candidates for all of the 9 positions for the National Board of Directors and vote for the individuals that they want to represent them to move the association forward. And for me, in my journey, I really feel that we need to come together and support one another. And so my theme this year is stronger together, because together we can accomplish more things, do things better, be more effective. And I love here in the Dallas Fort Worth Metro, we have 3 leagues and we come together to do things and support one another, and I see the positive impact of that connection and that support. So that's really what I'm advocating for this year as we move the association forward.
Yeah, I think, it's been said, if one woman can do many things, a group of women can do all the things, right? And it's just for me, it's just been a wonderful place to and a safe place to try things. If you're not comfortable speaking in front of people, that's a great place to learn how to get on the other side of that fear or that nervousness or that uncertainty, because you're in a room full of people that are supporting you. And I tell this story all the time. I did not want to be the treasurer. Vicky Marlette said, "Oh, I think you could," and I'm like, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I hire a bookkeeper. I don't do books." And I did it. And I know now why I really hire a bookkeeper. But I learned a lot of things when I was doing it as well, right? And we learn really maybe what we shouldn't be doing in some cases, right? So I guess my point is you can go get into a role that maybe you want to succeed at, or one that maybe you just are just helping out, and they just have to tolerate you while you do it, I guess.
Well, it's interesting because I've been talking to members in my league over the last 2 months about their goals for this year. and how they're progressing in meeting their goals, and then making the question that how can ABWA help you with those goals, and trying to match
Mm.
their goals in their professional and personal life with things that we can offer with ABWA to find that fill in the gap,
Yeah.
that opportunity for us to support them. And for everyone, it looks different. I, as a leader, don't necessarily want someone who chooses to participate on a board out of obligation. I want someone who or is roped into it and feels like they have to do it and really doesn't want to do it. I want to find individuals that are engaged and they have an opportunity here with ABWA that can help meet their goals, because they're going to be more engaged, they're going to be more enthusiastic, and I think they're going to get more out of the experience, so that we don't burn out our members or get them in a position that they're overwhelmed, and then the end of the year happens and they ghost you because they're tired and they don't want to do another job that they didn't want to do in the first place. So I'm
Well, in
really
defense
trying
of
to
that,
encourage people.
it was good for me. It was good for me. I said, all right, I'm going to do this. I only cried twice. It was fine. But you're
Oh,
right.
you poor thing.
You want you want members to come forward and try things that they may not be um just 100% suited for, right? Do you really need a bookkeeper to come in and be the treasurer? Well, yes. However, maybe there's somebody that really wants to learn how to do that, and this is a safe place to do it, right?
Mhm.
With
And that
guidance around, and they
bookkeeper
become
individual, that bookkeeper does bookkeeping all day. They don't want to do bookkeeping in their volunteer role. They want to grow in a different
yes.
opportunity. So that would be something that you could plug in someone as a mentor. The bookkeeper could be the mentor for the person who wants to learn
Yes.
how to better manage their books. Unlike
Because
you
maybe
though,
they're gonna
I've
yeah.
I've served as a VP of finance, and it's not my favorite.
No. Well, and maybe there is, because if you are going to be an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business, right? And you decide that you're going to do this, you do need to know how to manage the finances. And one of the great
Mhm.
things about an organization, ABWA in particular, is it's run like a business. It's run like a business. You have funds that you have to manage and account for. You have taxes, and the IRS needs to know what you're up to. Um, there's voting, just there's all these things that it's run like a business, so that you learn how to run your business should that be what you choose, right? And so I think that's also
Mhm.
important, that if you're going to run a small business, you better know how to manage the money, or go hire somebody that
Absolutely.
does, or go hire somebody that does, one or the other.
Yeah.
Now, I do also want to
And for
stress that
those
it's not. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, and for those who aren't ready to step into a committee chair or a local league board of directors, sometimes that growth happens in other ways. So you mentioned about public speaking. Well, maybe you're an introvert and your goal for joining ABWA is feeling comfortable standing up in the audience and introducing yourself or meeting one new person. It might be smaller steps, but that
Yeah.
might be what you need at this point. And so for everyone, their journey looks a little bit different than someone else.
Well, and I think that is one of the things about ABWA is it's not just I own my own business, or I'm an independent contractor, I'm any of that. There are people that work for major corporations within this organization as well. and learning those skills of, if I want to move up in my position within my company, I have got to get better at presenting, as an example. Again, ABWA is a place to do that, where you can run those, practice those things and get the stumbling blocks and things out of the way before, you have to go do that in order to move up in your company and in your position.
Absolutely. A safe space to make mistakes or learn and grow and stretch yourself, make course corrections without having your job on the line, or
Yeah.
having a big project that impacts your career get all um, messed up. A good
Yeah, it goes
place to practice
sideways,
and grow.
it is.
Yeah. I'm a member of several professional associations related to my industry, but it's nice to have that perspective from
Mhm.
different industries and people who don't necessarily think the same as someone who's in training and development, someone who's outside of my field that can give me a different perspective. And this is also beneficial to your business because as a trainer, the people that are hiring me are not other trainers. They're people in other industries. So making those connections and that network over the course of 22 years, if I need a particular business to do something, I can look up in my ABWA sisters and say, who has a business that does this? And I can
Mhm.
contact them or give them a referral for someone. One of the ladies in our league is a budget coach, which is a pretty specific industry. And I happened to have someone the other day who asked me, did I know someone who did budgeting? That her son was having is a newlywed, and they were having a hard time coming to grips with sharing a budget and finance. And I said, I know exactly the person. And I was able to connect these two and solve that problem because I have these resources with ABWA and people from all different industries and different from other professional associations that maybe, or networking groups that you can only have one realtor and one banker. ABWA is not like that, that you can have a variety of individuals from different from the same industry in the same group, and you can leverage that experience, and there's more than enough connections to go around for everyone.
One of the things I really liked about when I came to ABWA was the diversity of it. That everybody wasn't a realtor. Everybody wasn't in the real estate world. There were all ages from younger than me to older than me, retired women who were in their 70s and 80s when I joined. So the things and the stories they told of coming up as women working for TI and Hunt Oil and, some of these other places back in the 60s and 70s and the stories they can tell and what we can learn for ourselves through their stories. And so I think it's important to be in a group of people that are older than you, younger than you, come from different backgrounds. I think that's really important.
Absolutely. In today's professional workplace, we have more generations in the workplace than ever before. And we're truly a multicultural society. Our youngest generation Z that's coming into the workplace now, they are the most racially diverse generation in America to date. And so we have to be able to get along and communicate and understand and empathize with people that are different than us. And if we hang out with all the same people that look like us and are in the same industry as us and the same age group, we're never going to understand the other people that we have to come in contact with. And this can really hurt us in a business environment, especially with the younger generations. We have a lot of them coming in. Millennials are the largest group right
Mhm.
now in the workplace. And so having a place that millennials can come to learn and grow and build skill sets, but us learn from them as well, and
Yeah.
be able to better understand them so that we can work more collaboratively in the work environment in this diverse culture that we have is so important. And it's not just knowing people and understanding them, but actually being more inclusive as part of the focus. Because if people don't feel like they are uh, fitting in and they're included, they're not going to be happy in your association. They're not going to be happy in your workplace. And then
No.
they're going to take
No.
their talent somewhere else. And as an HR professional, I'll tell you that talent is a big commodity right now. People are
Yes.
leaving jobs at the drop of a hat. If they're not happy,
Yeah.
they're going to pursue work somewhere else. And so it's a really important, a critical juncture for a lot of workplaces. And being a part of an association that is diverse can really help in that arena as well.
Agreed. Agreed. Just even in this real estate office where we are all independent contractors, if I look out the window at my door and I see the variety of people that walk past that door in age and culture and everything else, it's you've got to understand where people come from, and to be in an association where you can get to know them on a one-on-one basis, whether it's age or, race or sexual orientation or anything, you're better able to go back out into your workplace because now you understand where that generation, how they think. They think differently than someone who's about to turn 60. As much as I think I'm young and cool, I'm still ahead, I'm still in a different generation. Let's just own that.
Absolutely, different priorities. I use the example in some of my training that the baby boomer, everyone wants kind of the same things. People want flexible time off. But the difference is the reason that they want the flexible time off. The baby boomers want that flexible time off to travel, to take
Mhm.
care of their grandkids. The Generation X, a lot of them are parents. They want time off for their kids' softball game and to go to parent teacher meetings. And the millennials, they want time off for their girls' weekend. They want
Yeah.
their long weekend to go out with their girlfriends. So even though their reasons for that specific thing
It's a
are
good point.
different, they want a lot of the same things. And being able to understand where they're coming from and what their priorities are really really important. As a mom of
Yeah.
two teenagers who are Generation Alpha, I'm always struggling to learn and ask questions about how things are and why do you do that, and trying to figure them out better as a mom, but it will help me
Yeah.
as a business owner when I'm working with individuals also.
Exactly. So, what is a couple of things if somebody is listening and thinking, "Oh, maybe I do need to check this out. How do I, I don't know if it's really for me." What would you say to them that could help them, pull them into the right direction to, ideally ABWA, but if but also another organization or association such as this? Is this the year that you're going to stop paying rent? Is this the year that you are going to finally purchase your own home? But where do you start? How do you get your questions answered? Well, I'm Robin McCoy, and I'm a Texas realtor with Keller Williams. Relax, I got this. I have a home buyers masterclass the first Saturday of every month, and it's free to you, and it's all online. Just text the word masterclass to 214-226-3770, and we'll get you registered and on the path to home ownership. What would you say to them that could help them, pull them into the right direction to, ideally ABWA, but if but also another organization or association such as this?
Well, the internet is a great resource. You can go to the website for ABWA, www.abwa.org, or we have our scholarships through Stephen Buffton Memorial Education Fund, which we have a bunch of scholarships open right now at sbmef.org that they can look at to get information. They can look up to see if there's a local league in their area, whether it's on the national webpage, there's a page that has a number of chapters, or connect with them on social media. I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to people on Zoom or phone and answer questions. And I think a lot of the women at the leagues are able to do that. One of the great benefits of COVID, when we came through that process, there are a number of leagues that do hybrid meetings. So you can attend in person, but you can also attend on Zoom. So you mentioned the traffic and the busy schedule, and living in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro, it takes me an hour to get to events. And sometimes
Yes.
things happen that I can't make it through the traffic. I'm able to still attend and participate in the event in a hybrid situation on Zoom. And so even if someone can't find a league or doesn't connect with the league in their area, there are a number of leagues who offer
Mhm.
events on Zoom. I am looking at events to attend this summer. A bunch of the leagues in other states are having some great speakers, and a lot of them are offering them on Zoom. So you can network and connect with women from all over the country as an ABWA member, attending an event and networking and meeting as many of the members as possible in those events is really important, so that you can get a feel for what ABWA is all about and find some people that you can connect with. There are 3 leagues here in Dallas, and I
Mhm.
attend different leagues. If I'm in town, I see a good program, I'm gonna jump in and attend one of those leagues. But like I said, you could attend events from all over. And then if you have further questions, there's always women who are willing to ask questions. You could take a look at our newsletter. They could give you a walkthrough of some of the features and benefits of membership, like the online learning that I had mentioned. I actually have a YouTube channel, and I have a video on my Kella Price ABWA YouTube channel. One of the videos is choose your adventure with ABWA, because I really think that everyone's path in ABWA looks different, and it talks
Mhm.
about my experience, but some of the different aspects that we may or may not cover in this particular podcast to give them an idea. So there's lots of videos. I have top 10 videos for some of the recognition pieces that we didn't talk about, hearing about other women's ABWA stories and how the association has benefited them in their career. There's lots of great resources. So educating yourself, and then once you make a decision to join as a member, connecting with opportunities. Find out what kind of opportunities are available in the league that you can get involved in, because the more engaged you are in the experience, the more you're going to get out of it. Just like anything,
A
you
anything.
get
The more
out
you
of
put
it
in,
what
the more
you
you
put,
get out.
put in.
Mhm.
Mhm. And if you just come to the monthly programs, you're going to get learning and you're going to get some networking, but you might not benefit as much from the sisterhood and the relationships unless you connect with those people that you are getting to know and get their business card and meet them for lunch, meet them for coffee, get together with them, get to know them better, and establish that more personal, deeper relationship. Get involved in a committee for an event to get to know um, what we offer in our community and for professional women, and build some of those leadership skills or communication skills or organization skills or whatever gap that you have in your personal or professional life, there's an opportunity in ABWA for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that is a good spot to end on. And we are going to put that YouTube video that you mentioned, we'll put that in the show notes. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Kella. You can go to abwa.org and look through, see what is near you if you're not in the DFW area. We would love to chat with you about this organization. It has done so much for me. Kella told you everything it's done for her. And there are stories that of people just saying, I just didn't know it was there. I'm so glad I found you. So we're trying to, this is the point of this is you don't have to find us. We're out here telling you we're here. So thank you so much, Kella, for joining me again on the show. I really appreciate it. And I love talking about ABWA with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Robin.
All right. Well, that is a wrap. Another episode of Crushing It with Your Tribe. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you'll hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. These are really just mostly cool people that I am fortunate enough to know. So I want you to know them as well. Get involved with what they do. And we will see you next time.
Thanks for joining us for Crushing It with Your Tribe with Texas Realtor Robin McCoy. Check out all the show notes for contact information on Robin and her guests and to access your free resources and information discussed on this episode. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a conversation. Thanks again, and we will see you next time on Crushing It with Your Tribe with Robin McCoy.